this thing right here in lecture a while ago. This kind of gives you an idea. Look at the rat testes thing slide. And here are these lighting cells in between. And you know, we just discussed that. I think we may have mentioned this the other day in class, I'm not sure. But it kind of gives you the secondary spermatocyte, primary spermatocyte, and so forth. You're not going to have, there's the most, the germ cell, stem cell is a spermatogonium. We'd already talked about this a little bit, except this is going to be on your test. This will be on your lab test. So I wanted you to see that. All right, now then, moving on with this just a little bit. This is just, again, showing just a drawing of all that stuff. And this is in the book by Seeley, Stevens, and Tate. And it shows all that business in there and kind of the migration. This is just his view. There's the acrosome and the spermatozoa, and that's where the hyaluronidase and all that stuff is. The hyaluronidase and the proteinases, and you know, just another view. And here's the ductus deferens, the same thing as the vas deferens. There's the epididymis. There's the efferent. There's the rete. Now, tubulus rectus, he called it, remember we used the term straight tubule. Only reason I'm revealing that is you have to know that. You have to know that route, you know, for the final exam. The only reason I mentioned that for you. All right, now, in doing this a little more, now, spermatogenesis, again, that's just the stuff written out. That's all that is. Spermatogonia, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatids, spermatozoa enter the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, migrate to the epididymis. There they mature. That's all it's telling you, which we've been over. They mature, you know, complete their maturation in the epididymis. So there's the deal. There's that. Any questions? Now, if you have a question, because we've really kind of talked about this kind of in the lab already, so there's not. You should be pretty good on this. Pretty straightforward on this part right here. All right, so there's the way that is working. All right, now let's move on with this just a little, and come right here. That's just another thing showing the same stuff. That's out of your book by Totora, and there's your meiosis 1 reduction. And of course, 4 spermatids will end up being formed, and you know that's from one spermatogonium, which is the stem cell. So that's just kind of showing. And where is all this taking place? That's the main thing. Where is all this taking place? It's in the seminiferous tubule. That's where it's all occurring. Seminiferous tubule. So we'll move on from that and kind of get this male reproductive stuff wrapped up. That's just another deal right there. Now I did make a note here. Now, we may have covered this the other day. Did we kind of go over this briefly right at the end of the period? Y'all don't remember, did we? Produced at about 300 million per day and so forth, and they have a life expectancy of about approximately 48 hours with the female reproductive tract. You know, approximately that varies. The spermatozoa is adapted for reaching and penetrating the ovum, and so forth. And it is because it has you know, it moves through. It has we'll talk about that in a few minutes. It moves toward through the female reproductive tract, and it has those chemicals in the acrosome, which it has the mitochondria to produce ATP, and so forth. And prostaglandins produced by the prostate gland also speed up the travel of the spermatozoa. And again, so this is right here. That is just kind of showing a diagram of this, and kind of giving you know, a picture of the male reproductive cell. All right, but acrosome, we've kind of talked about this. Okay, now right here, head, mid-piece. Now, the acrosome contains hyaluronidase and proteinases, which these chemicals are designed for helping the spermatozoa penetrate into the ovum, or actually, it would be the ovum at that time. And so they are dissolving away the corona radiata, the zona ballista, and all that stuff. That gets dissolved away. So this is just kind of showing that part right there. There's a picture of that again. And then this right here, the hormone role. I want to make you aware of the hormones in the male. The follicle-stimulating hormone, and we mentioned this before, Follicle-stimulating hormone in the female is the hormone that causes maturation of the ovarian follicle, and we've indicated that. In the male, the follicle-stimulating hormone, the target area there is the seminiferous tubule, and the follicle-stimulating hormone initiates spermatogenesis. So that's the key thing with that. I think y'all probably pretty well remember that part. And then we come on with this just a little bit. The luteinizing hormone, what does it do? It's not called the luteinizing hormone in the male. It's called the interstitial cell stimulating hormone. See, I have the word LH, but actually it's the same thing as LH. But in the male, it's called the interstitial cell stimulating hormone. And what it does in the male, come on in here, come on. Come on, y'all. Did y'all go down there a while ago?
We've been all around.
No, you didn't see it written on the board? I wrote on the board where I was.
Someone told us that we were in your lecture hall, so we went over there.
Oh, no. All right, who else is missing?
They're not coming.
They're not coming.
They're leaving.
They're studying for something, okay. All right, so the luteinizing hormone is, the chief function here is to stimulate the interstitial cells to produce the male hormone, and the chief male hormone, of course, is testosterone. So that's the primary, that is it. But now right here, let me show you something right here. Right here, on this one, you might want to jot down, because I'm not having notes on the test. You might see the term ICSH. Now, ICSH stands for, you might want to jot that one down, it stands for interstitial cell stimulating hormone. ICSH is the same thing as the luteinizing hormone, except in the female it's called the luteinizing, and in the male it's called ICSH, interstitial cell stimulating. And it stimulates the interstitial cells of Leydig or Leydig to produce testosterone. Yeah, so you might want to keep that in mind. You might want to have that in your material a little bit, kind of keep that, kind of make sure you have that distinction. The epididymis, here's the thing, as I mentioned to you earlier, guys, as complicated as females are, they always like to do that. They're still not as complicated as females are. There's nothing in the female that is as complicated as the tubular, the duct system in the male. I mean, this epididymis thing, it's about 6 feet in length. It sits on top of the testes, and the epididymis is about 6 feet in length and about 1 millimeter in diameter. And I'm going to tell y'all, the bacteria can wreak havoc with this. I mean, sexually transmitted organisms can wreak havoc with these small tubes, and really cause some devastating problems if left unattended. And most people, the pain is so bad they can't, but they would if they did leave it unattended. But lined with a pseudostratified ciliated columnar, this is the epididymis. The pseudostratified ciliated, not ciliated, pseudostratified columnar, which I'm not going to ask you, and the wall contains smooth muscle. Now that is from a dissection of a cadaver. That is showing the epididymis. There's the testes. Now what would be in here would be the lobules where the seminiferous tubules would be. That would be in here. There's the epididymis. There's the vas deferens right there. There's the vas deferens. Here is the spermatic cord right in through our part of it. There's blood vessels, lymphatics, and so forth, all in that. And of course, that is the way that is set up. But anyway, this epididymis is very important from the standpoint of maturation. So that is a good thing to kind of have in, kind of know. All right, now the site, and I gave you this, I think maybe the other day, is the epididymis, and the time. I think this is what we talked about this the other day briefly. The time for maturation will vary from individual to individual, but anyway, the epididymis does store the spermatozoa and propels them toward the urethra during ejaculation, and there's going to be obviously peristaltic contractions due to the smooth muscle in the wall of these tubules. So this is the way that is kind of works out.